about choices, no doubt.
Choices.
Looking at your life from the inside.
That's right.
Life's about choices, no doubt. Looking at your life from the inside. Life's about choices, no doubt.
Speak on it.
Looking at your life from the inside. Life's about choices, no doubt.
West side.
Looking at your life from the inside. Looking out.
Family, it's your boy, Lamonte Faison, with You Versus Yourself podcast, where the truth and you collide. If you like my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. And remember, I'm still in the building. Welcome, family, to another episode. It is your boy, Lamonte Faison, and you know I'm still in the building. Listen, a topic today that's been on my mind, I've been seeing a whole lot of podcasts and individuals having conversations about the modern day woman. And should the modern day woman obey her husband? And that has been a hot topic lately. Even myself have been having conversations with a friend of mine or a couple of friends of mine on why they believe that women should obey and why they believe women are not following in line and that they're walking around, according to them, with masculine energy. The way I look at this when we're talking about obey, I believe that that comes from a foundation of religion. There's scriptures in the Bible that talk about a woman obeying her husband. Now, I am very aware that every woman does not follow the Bible. I'm very aware that all people are not necessarily in that arena. But I believe that's where this comes from. The one thing that I would say about it as a man, and I'm not sure even if I would use the word obey in these modern times, but I'm thinking the women back in those days, biblical days, didn't go to school. Now, I could be wrong. Did not go to school, did not get education, wasn't getting paid $100,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, like these women today are. They can buy their own house. They can buy their own cars. Now, I'm not sure that I personally have an issue with any of those things. The issue comes when we're talking about obey and someone being obedient. It sounds like you want that woman to line up with your ideal or your vision from the home. Now, again, I don't have a position whether that's right or wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me. If that's the case, then whatever you're attempting to do, man, then you have to find a woman who is in agreement with the type of household you're trying to run and that particular vision. I do think, however, even if it was like that in the past, I know my mother's been married for 57 years. And I think from the traditional standpoint, my mother operated like that. The man is the lead, the man is the head, and that's quite all right. I think why obey has become a little taboo because it may have been misrepresented. Somebody that's a domestic violence professional, I've literally heard people say, my woman can only have two friends, me and God. That's a problem for many people because that means I don't have any autonomy to make any decisions. That you are using actually a power and control technique to actually get your woman in line the way you want her to be. To me, that appears to be more domestic violence oriented and abusive, and the abuse of power, as opposed to just simply somebody obeying or listening to whatever it is that you decide is best for the house. So I do think there's a lot of that going on today, is that many women, and I'm going to have one on next week, are apprehensive, for the lack of a better word, obeying their husband. because it has been abused over and over and over again, and even in the church. People using God for manipulation, which again is a power and control mechanism. So this is important to understand why so much pushback on that word for women to obey. Okay, very important to at least try to understand what's happening. I'm not sure if as men, we have been good examples, not all men, as leaders when it comes to leading our women. Many of us have real conversations, including myself, have been a cheater before. I'm not sure why a woman would want to obey me and don't trust me at the same time. And it would be me tearing down that wall or putting up that wall of mistrust because of my own actions. And I know many men who have done that, and women as well. But in this case, I'm talking about the men. I'm not sure, again, that we have represented the leadership in a way that will make someone say, hey, I can't wait to go home to my husband. He loves me. He adores me. He has everything in order. We in agreement. I don't have a problem with submitting to my husband's leadership. We have diminished some of that. That's what's going on today when we're talking about the modern day women. Again, if we're doing things that is not in alignment when we say God, man, woman, kids. But a lot of us up here, God, we're struggling in that area. Our actions and what we're doing, we are struggling. I've been watching the preachers and the pastors who've been exposed for manipulating the church out of money. Again, power and control, abuse. Preachers cheating on their spouses. What is it that we want to happen, and what do we want to accomplish? If we want that level of intimacy with our wives and communication and relationship with them, that they can trust us, that they can listen or adhere to the vision and the rules of what we're trying to accomplish, then I think we got to do a better job in presenting. Now, this is not to say, well, all men are this way. No, not saying that. I'm sure we have some great leaders out there. I'm sure you can get some women to come on a podcast and say, no, my husband is great. He leaves the house, he treats me well, and I have a level of autonomy in my household. It's not governed like a dictatorship. I am certain that that takes place. But watching these debates and watching these people talk about the modern day women, she's masculine and all of those things, I just don't want us to forget, how do we believe they got there? I absolutely believe that we had some to do with that. I believe that. Checking our own behavior, using power and control. Where you going? What time you coming home? Somebody asked me one day, they said, well, Lamont, if your wife were wearing a certain type of dress, would you tell her not to wear it? First of all, I don't believe you tell your woman or an adult woman anything. I may ask, I may suggest, but that woman is an adult and has a level of autonomy for herself, and she can make her own decisions. Again, this is not a dictatorship. And so that conversation needs to be had in the beginning with our non-negotiables, with our boundary setting. What are we both looking for in this particular relationship? Where are we trying to go and what we're trying to accomplish? But back to the gentleman that's talking about two friends, my God and me, that's going to be an issue, and it has been an issue. I know who the individual is. It has been an issue. because you can't make somebody else do something that they don't want to do. The only person I can control is me. So if I want a woman that thinks like that, along those lines of using traditional biblical stances when it comes to relationships and obeying your master or obeying your Lord or your husband, then I need to find somebody who operates in that stance. And that's how I see it. Again, I see people name calling on the internet. The woman is this, she's that, the man is this. I don't need to do any of those things. We can have a discussion. And it's okay if you disagree with me. Not an issue. But again, I believe men, we have to show better leadership. And again, not all men. Men, we need to show better leadership. We need to get some coping skills on how we operate. Instead of telling the woman, we need to do this, we need to do that, let's have a conversation and ask her, what do you think about this idea? How do you feel about this idea? This is where we try to go, babe, right here. And so based on our conversation, I put this together. What do you think? And do you have some input here? To me, that would be the better way, because then you get the buy-in. And it's not just me or the man said, hey, it's like this and that's the way it is, like Run DMC. Very important. I am a big proponent, of partnerships, because I realize I can't control the other person and that other person cannot control me. But if we can come in with ideas that's going to allow us to be successful, then by all means, we can put that plan in place. All right. So tell me what you think. I need you to comment at the bottom, chime in. Let me know, should women obey their husbands? My mindset is I'm not sure if men have done a good job presenting themselves as leaders. Again, when I like to preface this by saying I'm not talking about all men, but there are a lot of us who are not presenting ourselves well. So tell me what you think. Should women obey their husbands? All right. I am Lamonte Faison. You know I'm in the building, but watch this. Being calm is cool.